me, so I know what we're talking about. Alright, I have a 2016 diesel F250, Ford F250 4x4, and I have to put in diesel exhaust fluid. Okay, so I saw things online that scared me to death about just how old this stuff is and it would cause all kinds of problems. Well, I bought 4 bottles of 4 cans, 2.5 gallons, 2.5 US gallons of diesel exhaust fluid. It was last year, towards the beginning of the year, I do believe. And it came from Walmart. To calculate the date that it's used, I went online and some people have some good stuff up there, but basically doing math, okay, and the way that they did it to calculate it, this was made in February 16 and 19, but an easier way to look at it, and a smarter one I do think, is to simply look at the expiration date. The first part of this is the plant that makes it, so there's plant. You can see this was made in the year, you take off the first 2 digits, and this is the expiration date. It comes due in 2020, that's this year, and it's a Julian date, which is 308. So to do a rough calculation of 30 days in a month, and that would be October. Okay, simple enough. So this expires in October. But a better way to also do it is to simply use the refractometer, and that's what this is, and it's another very simple device. They show you that as well on some of the lines, but in essence it has some gradients on there, and all you have to do is basically, I use tap water, make sure it's in calculation. It works just as well as distilled, or at least it's close enough. It was zeroed and from the factory. Put it on there, close the window, and then take a look, and you'll see the number. But but the number has a range, okay? And when I went online to look, and I can't recall exactly where I did it. I want to say Ford, but I'm not certain it was. But the 32.5 is where it should be, but there's a range of 29.5 to 35 that is acceptable with the truck. All right, so there is a range of the specific gravity. This one I got, okay, sorry, my right hand's hurting me here, is this. I bought it on Amazon. It's an aichose refractometer, I guess. And it says ATC. Requires no batteries, it just requires sunlight. And it comes with that stuff right there, and you see it displayed before you. Here's the little user manual. I'll try and hold that up steady. Okay. So then flipping it over, see user manual. You put tap water in, and basically with air and nothing, you have 0. A whole scale that you look through the light is the same color, symmetrical. When you put water in, it goes to 0, okay? And when you look at it, you'll see at the bottom of the meter that it's light, basically clear with blue, that demarking the level it's at. Okay, you have a scale and it's set for 32.5, which is much higher. And what happens is the light comes in and you can see where that level is through your eyepiece. So that's actually how it works. And I have no way of showing you. Well, I'm not smart enough to know how to use a camera, I guess, to show you. But that's it. So the way to verify it, the way I do it, is I use the refractometer. I also look at the date. So if you go to the store and you see it, you want something would say this year. So you'd want it to be next year's 21 or 22, depending on how far out they go. but that's your expiration date year, the third and fourth digit with the Julian date. It's that simple. You don't have to do all the calculations. Okay, thank you. Make all that work is that you saw in the picture, this is exactly how it kind of looks, but it says reference. The scales are not necessarily the same, and that's because they make a million of these probably with various different sizes, but that light portion goes and moves up higher to the correct level. When I look into the unit, to be more exact, and forgive my handwriting, the one that I have here, which is the ATC, and let's see, this is a range that we're shooting for, 32.5. Let me close this up, and just so we're certain that this is indeed the what the box says, I got it on Amazon. I looked, they're $27. I don't think I paid that much for it, but I've had it for a year. So, be that as it may, here is what you see on the scale. It has a 0 on both sides, and it scales up in increments of 5, and in between each of those there's 5 gradients. At 32.5, which is where you're looking for, it has a solid line that goes across. There's nothing there, but you can tell that it's there because it looks basically like that, where it goes all the way across. I just checked mine again, and it was sitting, the new bottle was just sitting, it's a smidgen below. It starts to transition here to where it is, but you can see with the range of 29.5, that would be here, and 35, which is there, that you have a certain amount of margin that you can see if it degrades and goes down, is what I'm trying to say. So it's not they do have it marked precisely at that point at 32.5, and if it's 29, it would be below this line. If it's above 35, it would be above that line. So that's your margin. So I think that's important to know, because I was happy when I got the tool that it did that, because it takes away, a number. Everyone keeps saying that this is a value, 32.5, but when I looked it up, there is a range. You want it to be that way. This is it's good till October this year, and it's still sitting right at 32.5, and it's been stored in a garage. So there, that's my input with 4 samples of these, that it hasn't changed since the manufacturer's date, which was, let's see, I'm back here, because I don't remember. Of course, it would be this flat. Basically, it was made in February 16 and 19, so it's still in good shape. So, I don't know. I worry less now all of a sudden, but yeah, make sure you got it in date. And if you're really serious, you want one of these. Okay. And I bought it on Amazon. Thank you.